Swakopmund has a great number of coffee shops which are always worth a visit. The former train station has been recently converted into a 5-star hotel. The main shopping streets of Swakopmund offer a great variety of shops and restaurants. We're now leaving the tourist part of the town and will be visiting the township of Mondesa. A guide will take you around and you'll learn a lot about life in a township. Wherever you go, you'll be welcome. The great hospitality of the Namibian people can be felt everywhere. The cultural tour will also take you to the market, where you can look for African souvenirs and try grilled meat. When talking to the people here, you'll find out a lot about their life in the southern part of Africa. Grain is ground in the traditional way. This work requires a lot of strength. You can try it too if you feel like it. At the end of your visit, you should try the delicious African food and take the farewell of the children home with you in your heart. If you like playing golf, you can certainly do it in Namibia. You'll find golf courses in Windhoek and in Swakopmund as well. And if you like horse riding, Namibia offers you the possibility to do so, with the magnificent scenery of the sand dunes of the Atlantic coast in the background. And if you feel like it, try a ride on a camel. If you're courageous, a flight in a paraglider will offer you a quite unique glimpse of the dune landscape. Quad biking has recently become very popular. Hop on a quad bike and ride on top of the dunes in a different way. Go-karting is another way of conquering the desert landscape. The only disadvantage is the dust. Sandboarding, a new way to glide over the desert sand on a board. Beach volleyball is liked all over the world and is also one of the favourite fun sports in Namibia. The beach at the Atlantic coast seems to be ideal for it. At sunset, Swakopmund shows its real beauty. Close to Swakopmund, you find the famous moon landscape. The The river Swakop is responsible for the rock formation, which is, especially in the evening, a breathtaking sight. Why not relax and enjoy some fresh oysters and a glass of champagne after a long, exciting day? At the end of the day, sit down to a candlelit dinner and listen to the marimbas. And later, to the wonderful sound of the piano. Another impressive formation close to Swakopmund is the Spitzkoppe. Here you will find the famous Bushman cave drawings. We continue our trip into the north of Namibia to the Skeleton Coast National Park. This Namibian treasure you can only reach by plane. Nowhere else will you find such unspoiled nature, closely guarded by conservation officers. The big salt pan close to Cap Frio in the north was once a natural harbour. There is a reason for calling this coast the Skeleton Coast. A great number of ships were pulled apart by the rough waters of the Atlantic, and people who were glad to be washed ashore died because there was no drinking water. The remains of a plane engine. The plane made a forced landing during a rescue operation for shipwrecked people. The rescuers themselves became victims of this coast. Another remnant of the Skeleton Coast, the tremendous vertebrae of a whale bleaches in the desert sun. The coast is rich in gemstones, like amethysts, in this case jealously guarded by a sand viper. Crabs, on the contrary, are not dangerous. Close to Rocky Point and a little further south in Cape Cross, you'll find huge seal colonies. The entrance to the Skeleton Coast National Park is marked by an unusual gate. The road leads to the Kaokoveld, home of the Himba, one of the last nomad people in the world. The Himba protect their skin with a grease, which consists of butter and a powder they obtain by grinding special stones that have a high iron content. It gives the skin of the women a reddish colour, while it turns the skin of the men nearly black. The living area of the Himba extends up to the Ipupa Falls, where the Kunene, the river that forms the border to Angola, plunges into the deep. Today, about 5,000 Himba live in the area that covers 70,000 square kilometres. The Himba Nomads live from cattle and goat breeding. The number of animals they own is the basis of their wealth and determines their reputation. The burial places of their ancestors are sacred places for the Himba. South of the Kaokoveld starts the Damaraland. Many visitors consider the Damaraland, with its savannas and its extraordinary richness in animals, as the most beautiful part of Namibia. If you're an enthusiastic off-roader, you should not miss the Kovarib Gorge, a particular challenge. Here, and in the Kaokoveld as well, you should never set out with only one car. The wonderful sunset in one of the lodges at the edge of the Kaokoveld rewards the traveller for undertaking such a trip. You may want to enjoy a bottle of fine South African wine in the main building of the lodge, where luxuriously equipped tents or straw-thatched huts are at your disposal. You're also free to set up your own tent in one of the specially arranged campsites. The lodges are the starting point for the game drives in the Damaraland. Whoever gets up at dawn will take home unforgettable impressions and will have a chance to get a glimpse of the shy mountain zebras. The Damaraland is home to many animals which you otherwise will only find in the Etosha National Park. Besides eagles and giraffes, you can see huge herds of springbok or oryx. If you're lucky, you can come across lions. and will be able